The first thing you don't want to do is get mad or get impatient or sulk because the person standing in front of you is different from you. Okay? No. No. Just no. That's all I'm going to say about that. No. Yes. What you can do to learn as much as you can from your professor or instructor and enjoy that class. Yes, there are things you can do. Topic is actually for everybody. You don't have to be an international student or professional to hang out with me today. I'm going to talk about how to deal with a different accent. So if you're an international student, you come in, most people will have a different accent for the most part. If you're native, your professors, some professors would have a different accent. In fact, depending on the department you're in, there'll be more professors that are from outside of that home country. So I'm going to talk about how to deal with a different accent from a professor or an instructor. The first thing you don't want to do is get mad or get impatient or sulk because the person standing in front of you is different from you. Okay? No. Just no. That's all I'm going to say about that. No. What you can do to learn as much as you can from your professor or instructor and enjoy that class. Yes, there are things you can do. Number one is sit in the front. And somebody's screaming, I don't like sitting in the front. I know, you're a middle seater, back seater, side seater, everybody has their thing. But I get it. When the person standing in front of you is that different from you in the way they talk, you may be missing words when you're far away. You may miss words just because you're far away. You may miss words because when you're not in the front, you're more distracted. You can see more of the class, and if somebody does something funny or moves their head funny or is sleeping or is chatting, they distract you, and then you're more likely to also miss what the person is saying because you're not picking words as fast as you can because the person does not speak like you. Our brains are trained to understand words a certain way, and so sometimes when it deviates from that pattern, it might be just a little bit more difficult for our brains to figure out what that person is saying. But when you sit in front, you're able to read the person's lips better. And so even if you miss the pronunciation of it, if you can watch what the person is saying, you may be able to pick up the words. Number two, you'll be able to cut out distractions that would keep you from hearing more. And so when you sit in front, you maximize your being present in that class and get as much as you can get from your professor or instructor, even if they speak differently from you. Number two is recording the lecture. So of course you can ask permission from your instructor before you record the class. You can do that with your phone. You can get a digital recorder online and do that. You can do that with your laptop. You can do that with most electronic devices, honestly, that are around these days. You could record something. Or you could ask your teacher if the class can be recorded and so that you can access it online with the school's resource. Either way, when you record classes and you go back and replay them over again, you'll be able to catch words that you may have missed or catch things that you didn't understand the first time. And even if the person speaks differently from you, you'll be able to at least learn something from the class. Number three is to figure out a pronunciation scheme. And so you have that professor or instructor for 16 weeks or longer if they are teaching other courses. And so gradually you begin to figure out, okay, this is how this person says their T, or this is how they say words that are like this. So when a new word with a similar pattern comes up and they say it in class, because you have already started figuring out a pronunciation scheme, you'll be able to catch subsequent words or understand more words better. The next thing is to attend class regularly. I know there are some classes that the instructor right off will tell you, you don't have to show up, or I don't care about attendance as long as you do assignments and pass tests or exams. There are some classes like that. But even if you're given that pass, if the instructor has a different accent from what you're typically used to, and you may or you're already encountering some hard times understanding them, you may not want to skip classes that often, because guess what? You have a harder time when you're not meeting with your instructor more consistently. You have a harder time understanding what they're saying, because when you come to class, not every time or not often, creating a pronunciation scheme will be harder. And of course, what you are not present, how are you going to learn it by osmosis or diffusion or something? If you're good at reading textbooks, that's great. But if you need somebody to actually teach you, being absent from the class is definitely not going to help. But back to accents, when you attend class consistently, it becomes easier for you to understand your professor or instructor with a different accent. And the last tip is be patient with both yourself and the professor or instructor. Remember, the person who has a different accent may be coming from a different country and even having a hard time adapting to a new country, maybe learning or speaking their language. There are people who come here and English is not their first language. And so they're putting it all together and they're trying to teach you and they're trying to make you learn while also going through their own process and journey of adapting to a new society and a new system. Be kind, be patient. If you are the person that is an international student, you're coming from a different country, you're having a hard time adjusting to the system in general, everything is not going to happen overnight. If you're patient with yourself and you give yourself time to learn the things you're going to learn, then frustration will not set in and make your learning process a lot harder for you. I hope these tips have been helpful. Tell me what you have done to navigate foreign accents or different accents from your professors or instructors. Have you done any of these things? How have they helped? Have you done something different that I didn't share? I want to learn from you. We all want to learn from you. I don't know if you know, but I'm also a professor. So yeah, tell me the things that have worked so that I could also implement, because this Nigerian accent is not going anywhere for sure. I could tell you that one. So let me know what's going on. I'm happy to get more information. But until I come your way again, my name is Winnie. But before I go, have you subscribed? Have you followed? Why?